Hello Uganda, welcome to today's episode of the MCHUZI show. My name is Anan Priska and today's episode is different. We have left the studio behind and we're here on ground in Sendaula Hall. We are here right where the EFRIS penalty waiver is happening, and in studio today that is our topic, and we have an amazing resource today. He is the chairman staff council for URA, but he's also a domestic taxes he's also in the domestic taxes department, and he will walk us through this process step by step. So if you haven't made your way to Sendaula Hall, if you haven't made your way to the URA Service Center, this is your chance to just have a peek into what's happening, and then you'll be a believer, and then you'll come. Bernard, welcome to URA TV, welcome to MCHUZI.
Thank you, Priska.
Yeah, so please introduce yourself to those who don't know you yet, and then we'll get into the show.
Good morning, our viewers. Bernard Kasoma is my name. The chairman of the URA Staff Council, but also an officer in the Domestic Taxes Department. Yeah.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much.
We're very glad to have you here, that you've spared your time to come and talk about the EFRIS penalty waiver. It's the big elephant in the room. It has been trending for a while now. So how did we, URA and the taxpayer, get to this point where we have to, to this EFRIS penalty waiver process?
All right. As you, by now I'm sure everyone is aware that we have the big name EFRIS. Yeah. This began way back in 2021, where we implemented the EFRIS. EFRIS, we are saying, is a solution that has the area management and the Uganda brought on board to support government and URA in the management of the value-added tax as a tax in URA, as a tax for the government of Uganda. So EFRIS came in as a solution that is supposed to assist URA run and oversee the entire VAT process. So in 2021, we began the implementation. However, this was somehow delayed because of the COVID that arose starting in the year of 2020, that came through 2021, and a few months of 2022. So during that time, we were doing the implementation at a low level. We started by implementing this with the manufacturers, with the middle distributors, and as we speak, we have now rolled it out to the entire taxpayers, the retailers, the small taxpayers, as long as you are VAT registered. Remember that EFRIS is a solution that is managing VAT, and therefore it is affecting every taxpayer who is VAT registered.
Yes.
Okay.
So EFRIS, what I've picked from what you've just said, EFRIS is not a tax. Just a constant reminder that
it's a solution that is
VAT
only
collection.
Managing the value-added tax. Yes.
Okay. So URA does not usually give out tax waivers. Like we've had some in the past, like last December we had one. But what triggered this particular EFRIS penalty waiver? I know the traders met the president on 7th May, and they interacted, and one of the things suggested was this to happen. But you could just build on that.
Well, as you may notice, anything that is called change is not easy to be perceived, to be taken in a positive manner. So because URA introduced the EFRIS solution, which is managing the VAT tax, our traders did not understand it well. They did not get it to the point that this has come in a positive manner. This has come on a positive note to help both of us, the taxpayer and the taxman. So because of that, the change was not taken positively, and therefore our traders, especially the downtown traders, to be much more specific, the Chikubo traders, and those in the surroundings didn't take this in a good manner. And by the way, they didn't even understand well that we are introducing and not a tax. So because of that change, they expressed their concerns to the president. As you're aware, they met the president and told him about this, and the president sat down, listened from our management on what this is about. That brought us to the meeting that we had in Kololo on the 7th. So in that meeting, a number of issues were raised, but still to stick to EFRIS, the president assured the traders that, well, as a country, if we are to go forward, then we must be able to embrace this EFRIS, because it has been noted that EFRIS has, actually Uganda is the last almost African country to embrace this solution, to embrace this taxation solution, the e-invoicing solution. I've been to Zimbabwe, a very small island, very poor island, and they have the solution already running. Okay. So the president assured the traders that, you know, let us embrace this, because it is the way to go. But also, you know, as the father of the nation, he told the ERA, he told us that, you know what, whereas true we have to move this way, look into the idea of waiving penalties, because as you're aware, we are imposing penalties on taxpayers who are not using the EFRIS, who are not issuing the e-invoices, and all that was being done as per the law, which is mandated to us by the Parliament of Uganda. So the President directed URA to come up with the means of waiving these penalties. That is why we are now here trying to implement the directive of the President.
Okay, nice. And you hinted on it a little bit, but I would like for you to share more clearly who is eligible to come here to Sendaula Hall, or to go to the regional offices and get the EFRIS penalties.
Thank you so much. I want to also first emphasize that whereas we have been here since Monday, running through this process, our upcountry taxpayers, we are starting today. So taxpayers outside Kampala, visit your offices wherever they are, and the teams will be taking you through this waiver process. Now, who is eligible? As per the directive and as per the discussions that management had, you know, we have taxpayers who were using EFRIS by the time we began implementing it in 2021.
Okay.
Now, we also have a category of taxpayers who we categorize as our large taxpayers. We have a category of taxpayers who we categorize as our medium taxpayers. Now, such type of taxpayers, the process does not make them eligible for this ongoing exercise. Now, who is eligible? These are taxpayers who were new on EFRIS, because we are saying that, yes, we are now reached the phase of implementing EFRIS at the very least taxpayer, the Chikubo taxpayer, that taxman, the last stockist who buys and now sells to the final consumer, whom we had just begun implementing a few months or a few weeks ago. So we are saying that the waiver is applied to those taxpayers who were new. We believe that they had not got more knowledge on how to use EFRIS. Yes, we had sensitized, but probably we had not done more deeper sensitization to reach out to those very small taxpayers. Okay. Even the other category of taxpayers that I've mentioned are eligible, but they don't go through this same process that we are running here. So, you know, we have a process that is called, that is kickstarted by the objections. So the other taxpayers through our normal objections process, where you apply for a waiver through that objection application, we receive it online, and then our objections team will be able to take you through. By using that process, you must produce evidence as to why you're objecting to such a penalty. Okay. Now, the taxpayers who are eligible here, it's all about running through the process, and then we waive off those penalties.
Nice.
Maybe it would also be prudent to take you through the process that is happening here. Now, when you come here, by the way, I want to inform you that our teams are ready to receive you. Yeah, very eager. They are ready to offer you that service, probably that you haven't seen in URA, because it's a matter of coming down here. You are received by our smiling ushers straight from we are in the Sendaula Hall. So all you do is you come, the team will receive you. Yes, there is a line, there is a series of processes, a series of desks that you must visit, but it is all systematical. you go through each stage until they bring you to the Sendaura Hall. Now, when you reach the upper part where the Sendaura Hall, where we have the Sendaura Hall, the last desk is the objections desk. Receives your application now for the last phase of processing. Now, during that process, it's also important to note that we are doing verification. One, to confirm whether true you've come, but are you eligible to be in this queue? Because we don't know. You may come here and you're not eligible. Now, if we find out that you're not eligible, then we pick you up, advise you, and now take you back to the other objections process, because that will be your line as per your penalty details. Then, after we receive your application at the last desk, now that process of getting you the final clearance, which results into the penalty waiver certificate, takes some time, because we have to do the last checks, the last confirmations, and then we must get the approvals. And so that process takes close to 1 hour, 1.5 hours, to 1 to 2 hours. Now, because we don't want to keep you waiting idle for all that time, we have organized to have you in the Sendaura Hall, in this hall where I'm speaking from, to sit with you, have a discussion with you about these tax issues, to take you through, anyway, what is this so-called EFRIS that has caused Harambe in town? What is this VAT that we are talking about? Because we have noted, Priska, that taxpayers have agents, they have accountants, and most of the taxpayers have left the business that they're operating to the accountants. Now, when you come here, we want to tell you, what is VAT anyway? Who's eligible for VAT? We want to tell you, what is this so-called EFRIS? We want to assure you that EFRIS tax. We want to support you how to use this EFRIS. We want to support you through the entire process, how EFRIS came on board, and how you can onboard yourself on the EFRIS solution. We have been talking about the machine. We have
practical demos. The
practical demos. Our teams here, we have a team of experts who are doing demos on how to machine that you've been hearing of, the EFD machine. Taking note that it is only 1.1 and not a mandatory to use, because we are giving you other options. We are saying you can use the system to system, you can use the portal, which is free of charge, but you can also use the code, that USSD code, using your phone. So as you wait for that final certificate, we are taking you through all that, and also demonstrating to you how the EFD machine operates.
And you know, Bernard, I could attest, we've talked to some of the taxpayers after the training, and they were so happy. They're like, I'm so glad I've been through the training, I've learned so much, you know, because usually it's the accountant or the tax agent who does the work, but when the business owner comes and they experience and they learn, they're very grateful, and it's great. Thank God you came up with this amazing refresher, the course, the training session.
True, Priska. I want to appeal to you, our taxpayers. You know, there is what we call a general grapevine, where you hear talks in the corridors. This is what is happening when you go to URA. They are going to, you know, we don't believe, you know, by nature, we human beings, we don't believe. Personally, the Waganda say, I'm that I first see before I believe. Those of our taxpayers who have been here since Monday can attest to the fact that the teams here have handled them straight from the entrance at the URA gate up to Sendaura Hall here. I want to assure the taxpayers who haven't yet been here that whoever has been here with and they're eligible, there are taxpayers whom I've seen going away with waivers of close to 48. You know, the penalties we are coming in a bit 6 million. So the taxpayers who received a number of penalties. But we have seen taxpayers who are going away with waivers of close to 48. Because of the fact that they're eligible, the teams are verified and they're codified. So whoever has not yet been here, my call to you is make your way to Sendaura Hall. By the way, this process is running We gave it the entire week because we believe our taxpayers are busy and we didn't want to have a very big crowd here, so that we don't ably manage the teams so well. So what we did, we segmented, we sent out schedules. We know whom we give penalties. So what we did, each day we have 2 sessions of managing our clients. We have the morning session and the afternoon session. Now, we sent out invitations to the particular taxpayers. Each taxpayer received this invitation. However, you may hear someone telling you that, well, I don't know, I didn't receive this invitation.
That's true.
The cause is at the point of registering for TIN numbers, there are taxpayers who just delegated this process of TIN registration to their tax agents, to their accountants.
That's true.
Now, during that process, you're requested with your email address and probably the contact number. Now, the tax agents didn't come to you to request for email addresses and contact numbers. So what they did, they created their own email addresses and they inserted their phone numbers. Now, when you're communicating to taxpayers, we communicate on that registered email address. We communicate on that registered phone number that we have on the TIN number. So now, for instance, me Bernard Kasoma, if it is my TIN number, and then say Trevor Sentongo is my tax agent, and I was the one who registered for the TIN number. So he put his phone number and his email address. So if you wants to communicate to Bernard Kasoma, who's going to receive the communication? Trevor Sentongo, because his phone number and the email address are the registered contacts on my TIN number. However, we are not saying that is a dead deal. When you come here, we have teams that are ready to support you to even amend your registration details so that your TIN number can now read Bernard Kasoma's email address, Bernard Kasoma's phone number, as opposed to the Trevor's details, who's my tax agent. So that is why if there are taxpayers who didn't receive these invitations, it's only because they have given us registration details. Yes.
Bernard, is there a possibility of this being extended, or it's too soon to say?
Well, I would say that it is too soon to say, but I'm pretty sure that by Friday, our area management will be able to assess the situation and see if indeed there is need for an extension. But what I can assure you, even after we are done with this exercise from the Sendaula Hall, our objections office remains open. The waiver is in the tax procedure process. It's part of the year code. So we still have the that application for the waiver. Remember, the taxpayers need to know that these tax waivers are given by the minister. Not even the Commissioner General, not even any commissioner or manager in ERA. That's why you will see we are acting to the directive of the President of Uganda. That is the highest authority. So because this process of issuing these waivers from this hall, we are still going to have this process seamlessly running through the normal objections process, where you go to the portal, log in into your TIN number, and apply for a tax waiver in the normal process. Of course, that will be different from this, because here we have foregone some processes because we are handling a directive. Probably the other process we may request for some bit of evidence. But let's be hopeful and pray that our area management will see to it and extend this entire exercise. If
And you shared about what the process looks like, but if you could just pinpoint what are the requirements when I leave home to come to URA for this EFRIS penalty waiver, what should I make sure I carry?
All right. Yes, it's very important to note that as you come to the Sendaula Hall, first and foremost, must know your TIN number and the company. That is really the first thing, the basic TIN number and and your company's name. Now, because this process is it's a one-off, I would say it's a unique one. Whereas the normal process would request you to come with evidence and so on. Yes, you can come with your evidence, but as long as you are eligible. Eligibility goes back to the list, to the invitations that we sent out. Because we already have a list of taxpayers who are eligible.
All right, all right.
So as long as you receive that invitation, it means you are eligible to come and pick on this waiver.
Okay.
So as long as you know your company details, feel free to carry on a few evidence. And you never know, just in case. But all we need is basic. You to come. And by the way, it is also important. It is very important that we get you the actual taxpayer.
Yeah,
because if you send the agent, if you send your accountant, yes, they will do a good job on your behalf. But we are saying we also want to interact with you. You know, if I tell you a sentence, a story just now, and you pass it on to the next person, by the time it reaches to the third person, it will be different. So we want you to come, and we are able to tell you these things straight away,
from the horse's
ear
mouth.
to ear, horse's mouth, so that you can also understand why we have reached this far, and how best we can move forward as URA and taxpayers, but generally as Uganda.
So taxpayers, I hope you've had, come down here, come and interact with the taxman. When else will you just come to our home, meet the, the different officers, get to know them, and, be here and experience this in real time. So, Bernard, one last question. You have said, okay, when we come here, what other services can our taxpayers look forward to beyond the training? If I have other needs beyond the EFRIS penalty waiver, can I get those here? Absolutely,
absolutely.
Okay.
Like I told you, I think I mentioned it as we are starting our discussion. First and foremost, I want to reassure the taxpayers that as URA, we have rebranded ourselves. We are shifting from the authority-based URA to a service-oriented institution where we are offering our taxpayers the best service. Whereas here, we are inviting you for purposes of the tax waiver. I want to assure you that if you have any other need, but let me make mention of this. When you talk of tax waivers, we are talking about EFRIS tax waivers. I've interfaced taxpayers who have come with requests for waivers that are to do with DTS. Now, what we are doing here is only EFRIS. But when you come and your issue is DTS, we shall not chase you away that you go away, it is not DTS. It won't be handled here at the Sendaula Hall, but the teams will pick up on you, will guide you all through, and take you to the relevant offices that are going to help you handle the other waivers that have to do with the DTS and so on. Even the other category of taxpayers who are not eligible, when you come by mistake here, we shall still guide you through the other process and take you to the offices that are going to help you go through that other phase. So if your challenges are, be it customs related, be it IT related, be it credit, you have a credit note that is being approved, the teams are going to receive you here, and we shall take you to the respective desks and also do the follow-up to ensure that you go away satisfied. That is how URA is now rebranding itself.
From authority to service.
From authority
to
services.
So from authority to service, we are here to support in any way that you may need. And then finally, Bernard, how can taxpayers make sure that they do not fall prey to these penalties going forward? They have been waived, you are now at zero, the penalty is gone, but how do we move forward with a clean slate?
Great question, and by the way, important to note to the taxpayers that after this exercise where we are going to finally be waiving off these penalties, it doesn't mean that it is the end. Because, as we have noted together, EFRIS is here.
It's here.
Like I said, this is a solution that is only aiding us to manage the tax. And remember that as the President told us, as the President, what I say, educated us, because he really educated us as a father, that taxation only be part of the development of the country.
That's true.
And we, the citizens of the country, can only embrace and move together so that we develop together our country, Uganda. So it means that even after this date, EFRIS will still run. That's why we are we are having discussions how best to manage to manage this entire EFRIS implementation going forward, because you may find that even after today, someone is going to fall prey again. Someone is going to someone will not issue an invoice, because we're not here to stop EFRIS. We are here to through how best we can move with EFRIS. So we are saying that after this process, after the discussions we are having with our technical teams here who are training us, can we run through, can we implement and do what is right of us? If it means registering on the EFRIS, register. If it means issuing that e-invoice, issue it. If you're having trouble, our offices will have the office at Boulevard. Our mother EFRIS office is at Kampala Boulevard. Visit that office and let them know that you need to be taken through on how to carry on with this so-called EFRIS process. If it means issuing the receipt, issue it. If for you, the EFD machine is going to be much easier for you to use, acquire the machine. If you need to get knowledge on how to use it, come to us. Go to Boulevard. There are technical persons who are waiting to receive you, to take you through how to use these machines. So that going forward, we don't go into the same thing of us again penalizing you for non-compliance, penalizing you for non-usage of the EFRIS. So I'm assuring the taxpayers that yes, whereas we are having these penalty waivers, whereas we are closing the story this week, EFRIS will carry on. EFRIS will continue because VAT carries on as a tax, and therefore bound to get more penalties if we don't comply. So let us comply. Let us issue those invoices. If we don't know, let us inquire. And most importantly, let's avoid listening to if someone will influence you in a negative manner, but actually making you fall into a ditch without you knowing. So don't listen to bad influence. Come to us and get first-hand information so that we can be able to why this is happening in this manner and how we can move together. We are ready to move the journey together.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Bernard. This is an amazing show, and I'm sure our taxpayers have learned so much. And now, as we wrap up, please share with us your parting shots, and we'll wind up.
Parting shots. Thank you, Priska, to appreciate our taxpayers. I really want to appreciate you. First and foremost, I want to appreciate the taxpayers who have who listened to our call when we invited you to come here and be part of this exercise. It's really important to note that you come and be part of us here to take you through this process. We want to appreciate you. We want to appreciate you for paying your taxes. That paying taxes is not a very easy thing to do. I'm also a businessman. Yes, I'm an employee of URA, but I have a small shop down there in Chiseka. I've been with my Chiseka comrades, my Chiseka friends. They know this. So I really taxpayers for really paying your taxes, and I want to request you that we are speaking EFRIS. EFRIS is the way to go. EFRIS, I repeat and I emphasize, is not a tax. This is a solution that is going to help you. Those of you who have embraced it, you've noted that it is. We have taxpayers who are giving us testimonies that ever since I enrolled on EFRIS, I pushed away my accounting systems because it is helping you manage your stock levels. It is helping you monitor your sales. It is learn how to use it. Some of the expenses that have to do with probably employing tax agents might be pushed away. So I really call upon you to come and we move this journey together. I want to assure you that we as URA, we have rebranded ourselves from the authority to the service-oriented institution. So we are ready to give you these services with the much high-level service levels. And I want to call upon all of you wherever you are just come and engage us. If you have any troubles with usage, with implementation, with EFD machines, we noted that with credit notes, we are available. Our management has taken note. By the way, during these engagements, taxpayers have told us about their pains.
That's
when they come here, we request the taxpayers to give us their pains, because we can only know when they give us the pains. So our management has taken note of pains. The mass partnet one was the process that we take through as we approve your credit notes. So the entire EFRIS team that is based at Kampala Boulevard will be ready to receive you. We shall be engaging you further. The taxpayers here who have picked individually one-on-one, continue engaging them further and see how best to make each other better. We can only make each other better. We can only contribute to the development of our country, Uganda, if we work together.
Nice.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Bernard. You have been an amazing resource. And to watching the Tax MCHUZI show, thank you for tuning in. And if you haven't come to Sendaula Hall to get your EFRIS penalties waived, please make sure you make that, spare some time and come down here. I mean, it's a Gabu Day. Why don't you come and benefit from this?
Indeed, government Gabu Day. Yes.
And once you come here and you go back to 0 penalties, make sure you go and see no more. That's what the CG said. I remember the first day he was go out there and see no more, have no more penalties, embrace EFRIS, and we look forward to having you again next week on the Tax MCHUZI show. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.